What's up guys, it's me Juan Caparas and I'm back with another video for you guys here on my YouTube channel. So this video is actually quite different because mainly it's not really a tutorial video. It will still be my tutorial videos playlist here on my YouTube channel, but it will not be like a tutorial. So if you guys are expecting me to sculpt in time-lapse, you guys will be disappointed with this video because I will not do that. Alright, this is merely just a tips and advice video, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be, so always check the description for the chapter skips, okay? So if you guys want to skip ahead, the chapter skips will always be in the description for my long videos, such as this, alright? Now, the reason why I want to do a video like this is because throughout the years of being a sculptor, in general, I've gotten so many questions on sculpting, and I feel very embarrassed to respond to comments and messages telling you guys the same thing over and over again in terms of sculpting. And the reason why I do that is because, sculpting is a really broad topic to give you guys advice on. So after all these years, I kind of just want to condense everything that I can come up with to help you guys in sculpting in just one video, okay? This is that video, okay? Remember, this is not a tutorial video. This is a tips and advice video. So I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks that I've accumulated over the years in terms of sculpting, alright? So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys learned something. I'll be happy if one person learned something in this video, okay? So right now it's 3:52 in the morning right now, so it's the perfect time to shoot a video such as this because the whole house is quiet. So we're gonna cover a lot of things, okay? So before I start things off, I just want to let you guys know that these are sculptures that I'm currently working on at this very moment. And at this very moment, it is August 4th, early in the morning. You'll notice that here's my new design. This is Defile. There is a current design in the works. This is Hive, so this will be casted in silicone. Alright, now this design in particular is quite special because it's a custom mask designed by Ben Wilson. You guys can even see Ben's sketches for this custom mask right there. So for this one, I'm not really going to go over the actual custom mask because I'm merely just going over the sculptures just so you guys can have something to look at while I'm telling you guys some tips and advices, okay? So I'm merely just using these as model examples, okay? This is a custom mask, just please don't forget that this is not my design. All right, so it's kind of funny because you guys actually get a sneak peek of the current custom mask I'm working on. All right, so these two are my designs, but anyways, let's get on to this video, okay? Here we go. So the number one thing I actually want to go over is to be comfortable, okay? Now this is actually extremely important because as an artist, no matter what kind of artist you are, you have to be comfortable with your environment, okay? The first thing, obviously, as a sculptor is to be comfortable with your clay. Now, over the years, I've actually been using different types of clay to bring my sculptures and designs to life. Now, for those of you who have been following me for these many long years, you guys will know exactly what I mean. I've used a lot of types of modeling clay, okay, and it wasn't until 2011 in which I settled to oil-based clay. Okay, there's obviously different types of clay. You got water-based clay, which is actually pottery clay. The disadvantage of using pottery clay is that it dries out. Okay, it may be quick and easy to use, but it's too watery and it dries out, and it will crack and it will break. Now, of course, you can preserve the softness of the clay, but the problem with me is I don't often sculpt every day, so that clay is not really relevant to my my work process, the times in which I work. So that's why I don't really use it. And not to mention, water clay is a bit too, it's too soft for me, okay? It's way too soft. Water-based clay is good for quick concepts and sculpture. A lot of professionals actually use that. So that's called water-based clay. Now the second type of clay is modeling clay. Now this is actually similar to oil-based clay because they don't actually dry out. Now in the past, for those of you who have been my followers since the beginning, you will notice that I actually used a green type of modeling clay. Modeling clay is pretty much clay that doesn't harden out. It's not like water-based clay where it hardens and it cracks and your work is destroyed. All right, so modeling clay is, I personally believe modeling clay is the clay to be used if you guys want to get into sculpting. All right. Now, of course, the third clay that I've used is obviously oil-based clay. Like I said, now oil-based clay is actually quite interesting because you can actually change the consistency of the clay itself by applying heat to it. Okay. So if you put this up in an oven and leave it there for like an hour or something, it will actually turn into liquid. And what's cool about this clay is once it's cooled, it will actually go back to its solid state. What's cool about Juan clay is that it comes in different consistencies. All right, the pros actually use medium. Medium to me is way too hard. Okay, it's literally like rock, and I find it very hard to mold with my own hands. So I actually use Juan clay soft. So this is the soft consistency. So they're quite expensive, but they are extremely reusable, unlike water-based clay. And remember, you can always soften it up by applying heat to it. This is why I have a hair dryer here, so I can easily just warm it up, and it will actually soften up, and it will be easy for me to use to sculpt. All right, so that's pretty much the types of clay. Remember, I'm just going over these real quick, but yeah, that's that. So the second thing I want to go over in terms of this section is the environment. You will notice that most of my videos take place here in my workshop. This is obviously the place where I work. All right, it's quite obvious. Now, for me personally, the environment is just as important. You have to be very comfortable with your environment. Okay, now there's a couple of things I want to go about with this. All right, the time of day, as you can see, it's nighttime. Most of my videos take place in nighttime, and the reason why is because nighttime is quite precious to me because it is extremely peaceful and solitary. Okay, and it fits the mood for any artist because you have the patience and you have the concentration that is naturally given to you when it's nighttime, because most people obviously sleep in the night. Everyone is usually asleep at the night. No one will disturb you around this time, so it's like the perfect time to like draw, sculpt, do something artistic. All right, it's the perfect time to think when it's at night. Now, another thing I want to go over is the lighting. You will notice that I have two sets of light right here. I actually have another light right here, but when you're sculpting, you would need some sort of light that will actually make dynamic shadows on your sculptures. Okay, such as this. Using adjustable lights actually makes your sculpture look good. Okay, when you guys are taking pictures of your finished sculpture, it actually makes it look good. It makes it more dynamic. It gives it more attitude. It gives it more personality. All right. This is actually a really cheap lamp. I think this was only $20 on Amazon. They're the same type of lamp. Notice I have it in both sides, left and right. This gives me more control of my lighting situations for doing sculptures. Okay, lighting is extremely important, guys. All right, you don't need a freaking big ceiling light to light your sculptures, because believe it or not, ceiling lights just destroys the mood. Okay, if you guys really want to make the mood of your room atmospheric or something, you would need just one lamp, believe it or not. Notice how if I turn off that second lamp, it just makes it look good. This is the kind of environment you need to circle your mind in if you're a sculptor like me. Okay, everything has to be low lit. Even if you're filming, this is my personal taste. Okay, everything just looks good when one lamp is on. It's so awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I like this type of lighting. Okay, low lit settings is often the mood for me. Okay, now the last thing I want to go over with this section is your comfort mentally. Okay, if you guys are not feeling inspired to sculpt or draw or do whatever or paint, don't force yourself. Okay, really don't force yourself, because it would actually make your masterpieces look crap if you force creativity upon yourself. Now, later in this video, I would actually go over how you can be more motivated and inspired to create. Okay, but for now, let's just keep it simple. Do not force yourself to create. Okay, if you feel lazy that day, if you just don't feel like doing it, don't force yourself. Okay, so don't force yourself. Just be sure to maintain the balance between creativity and just living life. Okay, if you guys are actually good enough later in life, you would actually end up training your mind to work as a means to relax. Okay, and what I'm trying to say is there will be a certain point, once you've trained yourself mentally as an artist, You actually don't want to chill with your friends anymore. You don't want to play video games anymore. You don't want to waste time. The only time you want to give your life to is art. Okay, so there'll be a point in time in which your priorities will change. Okay, so for those of you who are starting out, you might have a lot of distractions. Okay, you know, like TV, work, school. You know, at the end of the day, you would end up seeing that the only thing that really matters to you as an artist is your work. And that's where you start pouring all your work ethics into, you know, the stuff that you do as an artist. All right, but that's just me, of course. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own way of living life. The life that I've always known is sitting in a room doing my art, learning more about myself as I go. Okay, and of course at the same time balancing schoolwork, other work that I've done, you know, like stuff like that. But anyways, that'll be it for this section. So let's move on to the next one. So section number 2, I want to go over references. Okay, so references is a big thing for any artist out there. Reference is important. The reason why reference is important, because when you tend to look at references while you're doing art, you tend to absorb the visual information from whatever reference you're using. Okay, now the reason why I have drawings and references all around me, even internet references right here for my 3D models and characters, is that, like I said, if you're looking at pictures while you're doing something, you tend to absorb them to whatever art you're doing, and that is obviously extremely important. Okay, notice how I have a lot of anatomy references right here, countless anatomy references, because anatomy is important. Once you've mastered anatomy, your work will actually be more realistic. I aim for realism. I don't know about you guys, but I aim for realism as always. And for me to master realism, you have to master anatomy, which is why I have these right here. I have visual references of anatomy right here in front of me all day, every day. Think about it. If you look at these images every day with your life, you tend to absorb them, whether if you like them or not. You know, these are images that I see every day, and when I work on my art, when I do something, they tend to stick in my mind. Even professionals use references, so it's always good to have references on every sculpture or drawing piece you do. Okay, notice here that I have references for Hive. Here are the drawings of Hive. This was the recent one. This was back in 2013, and this was in 2011. Notice how I also have real world references on Hive. Okay, so here are some fictional. This is obviously the new Freddy Krueger. I think this is a mask right here. This is another mask. This is Darth Vader. And obviously these are real references of people who have melted skin. Okay, so learn to balance both between fictional and real, because you get the best of both worlds. When you guys are also seeing images of references, you tend to motivate yourself even more. Okay, so this is actually one of the few ways to stay inspired with your art, is to keep looking at images that will benefit your work. Okay, I guarantee you guys, if you have images hanging on your walls like this, you will end up being inspired every day when you look at images like this. Okay, so keep notes, guys. Be visual. You're an artist. You have to have notes somewhere. You have to have visual notes somewhere. Notice here I have notes for a future short film I'm gonna do. Okay, I have some references here for future characters. You know, be surrounded with imagery, guys. Okay, you have to be surrounded with references and imagery of things that you like, because you tend to absorb those things. Okay, you tend to absorb those things visually without you even knowing it. Okay, so this is important for every artist. You have to be absorbed with images. All right, especially anatomy. And you know, as they always say, observation is the best tool for the artist. This is why every artist should actually attend classes in which they draw nude models. Okay, when you're drawing something from life, you're taking that physical image and putting it onto paper and translating it onto paper. This is a perfect example right here. This is obviously a design for a person that I'm working for at the moment, Ben Wilson. There is this sketch right there yet again. This is the product of all the anatomy studies that I've been doing these past 3 years or something. This is the byproduct of studying anatomy. your sculptures, your masterpieces, they tend to look more real. Okay, I wasn't like this a couple of years ago when I was sculpting. I really wasn't. But now it looks good. That actually looks like a human ear. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Reference is extremely important. All right, always study references. Always have a reference with you, no matter what. Professionals do this every time they work on something. And please don't be really ignorant. You may think you know the human body or the human face and the proportions. You don't. Okay, you really don't. A lot of artists tend to forget that, no matter how professional they are. So they always need some sort of image to remind themselves the basic human proportions. Okay? So don't be arrogant and don't be ignorant. Always have a picture with you of something real, so you can actually get that realism and translate it onto paper or onto clay. Alright? So hope you guys got all that. Reference is important. Now let's move on to the next section. Alright, so this is section 3. We're going to go over tools for this one, alright? So we're going to open my drawer right here. You will notice that I have a lot of sculpting tools, right? You will also notice that I don't actually use most of them. I actually only use just probably 10 of them right here. So the number of tools that you own for sculpting doesn't really matter, believe it or not. It's really how you use them. So you'll notice here that these are actually my main tools that I use. Since this is a tips and advice video, I'm not going to go over each and every tool that I use and tell you guys how to actually use them, because that's wrong. Not everyone uses the same tool the same way, right? So I kind of want to leave that open to you guys. I kind of want you guys to experiment on your own time on how you would use certain tools for whatever reason on your sculpture. There's obviously a lot of different types of tools out there. You got tools that are meant to carve huge basic forms out, such as this. You have tools that are meant for detailing, such as this tiny piece right here. This one is actually one of my favorite tools. Notice how it's an actual loop right here. I don't know if the camera's going to focus, but you can probably tell right here that it's a really small tool to use. It's good for carving out detail, and a perfect example of that is right here, is the file. These are all done using this one tiny tool right here. Just figure out on your own time on how certain tools will do certain jobs, okay? And one thing I want to go over is, when it comes to tools, remember that your hands are always the best tool to use, okay? The hands are always your best tool to use, because you'd also use your hands to take the clay and mold it to whatever shape, adding things to the face, or to the armature. It's all in your hands. It's how you use your hands. It's also how you use your tools. That's all that matters, okay? So yeah, that's that. So number 4 in this video, we're going to talk about sculpture development. So this is where we're pretty much done talking about the technical stuff and the basic stuff to get ready for sculpting. Now we're going to go to the actual sculpting process. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures of my past work so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the first thing you would want to do is obviously rough out the base, muscular, and skeletal structure first. The reason why you would want to start on this first is because how else are you going to do the facial expressions on your sculpture? How else are you going to do the wrinkles on your sculpture when you have nothing to work with in the first place, okay? So the first step when doing any type of sculpture whatsoever is roughing it out the best you can using small slabs of clay, okay? Now when you're using small slabs of clay, you're actually just only using your hands, so this is the part where you're not really using any tools, okay? So be quick about this stage, because this actually shouldn't take you long. It should actually only take you 15 to 30 minutes. Alright, to be honest, don't take your time on this, because you're really just roughing it out. Similar to how drawing works, you're just roughing out the posture, the base shapes, the structures of the person you're drawing, and then you're obviously gonna start building on from those shapes. So same thing with sculpting, guys. It's the same process. Start out basic and work your way to being detailed. Now this is the part without of anatomy. If you guys know a little bit of anatomy, this is the part where it actually goes to life, okay? Your knowledge will be tested at this point, because at this point you're literally just roughing out the muscle structure, okay? The basic proportions should already be there. You should know where to put the eyes. You should know where to put the ears and the mouth. Okay, everything should, you should see it in this stage, in the first stage of sculpting, roughed out. Of course, a great example of that is Hive right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's extremely rough. Okay, It is extremely rough. This actually only took me 15 minutes to do. The point of this stage is to put some sort of clay surface onto your armature so you have something to work with, okay? So notice here that I have the basic structures there. It's obviously not done yet, but I have something to work with. Okay, so you actually have an idea on maybe what this mask will look like once it's done. Okay, so try to put as much structure as you can on the first stage of sculpting. When there's no foundation to work with, your sculpture is going to fail. Okay, it's like a house. When you're building a house, you're not obviously going to start on the windows, right? You're not going to start on the roof. You're not going to start on the decorating part, because how are you going to decorate it if there's nothing to work with? So you have to have a base first, okay? The base just happens to be muscles, okay? The base structure, the skeleton, it has to all be there first before you start getting into the fun stuff, all right? So that's that. Now, of course, like I said, once you're done with the base muscular structure, you're obviously going to start carving out the fine details. You might even start adding some small slabs of clay to define the wrinkles, maybe, to define more of the shape. And then you start getting into the details, alright? And once you're done with the details, you guys can actually start texturing your sculptures, as I did right here. Okay, you got some wrinkles right there, you got a huge scar. Here's like a gash on the head. You know, you can start smaller details such as symmetrical patterns, like what I have here on Defile. So just remember that if you guys remember these stages of sculpting, you guys should be good to go. Okay, of course this takes time and practice, alright? And another thing I want to go over is actually silhouette. You guys should know what silhouette is. If you guys don't know what it is, I'll be happy to explain it to you. So when you guys are doing 3D modeling, actually, if you guys are doing 3D modeling, or in this case clay sculpture, a silhouette is extremely important. It's pretty much the positive space of your sculpture. So it actually has nothing to do with the details. A silhouette is pretty much the outline of your sculpture. So whatever way you rotate your turntable, the silhouette is pretty much this form right here. It's pretty much the positive space of your sculpture. Alright, the reason why this is important is because if you guys don't have a good silhouette, you're not really going to convince people that your sculpture is realistic. Now, I'm not the best sculptor in the world, but I can tell you guys that this has a good silhouette, and it has a good silhouette because if you guys look at here in the side, you can obviously tell that this is somewhat of a humanoid, right? Because guess what? Look, you have that nice curve where the neck is supposed to be. You got the nice cranium right here. You can obviously tell that this is a skull, right? Like it's a humanoid sculpture because of the head. All right. Now to top it off, look how I did the nose. Notice how it's not just a straight line. It has like a nice groove right here. That's where the eyebrows are. You obviously have the ridge of the nose right there, the nose bridge. You have the nice nostrils going there, and notice how the lip actually curves out, goes in. There's the fangs and teeth. The lip curves out, and then the chin, and then bam, and then there's a throat. Slopes down. That's pretty much a silhouette, guys. Okay, if you guys don't have a good silhouette, you're not really going to convince people that your thing is believable. Okay, here's another good example. Notice here that if I turn it to the side, notice how that's not a straight line. Okay, notice how it actually just, it slopes right here, it drops down, it curves, so that pretty much determines the nose area. Notice the overbite on the teeth. So it's pretty much small details like that on the silhouette that really matters. Okay, it makes your sculpture more dynamic in terms of form. Okay, notice here, see that pinch right there? See how this mechanical head structure right here seems to go right there, and then it pinches right there. That determines where the brain is. Notice how if that little pinch wasn't there, it wouldn't really look convincing, right? It wouldn't really look right. In fact, it would actually make it look like the brain and the headpiece are one part of the sculpture. It's one piece when it's actually not. All right. So having a good silhouette actually distributes the forms of your sculpture, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's pretty much silhouette, guys. Silhouette. Just keep in mind, silhouette is pretty much the outline. So it's on the outline of your sculpture. No matter what side you turn to, it should look good. Okay, so that's how you know when you have a good sculpture, is when you have a good silhouette. All right, so notice how I turned it, diagonally towards me, you can see how the part of the mask, the restraint that this person is in, you notice how it starts popping out. Okay, and then you can obviously tell that this part right here is obviously his face. It pinches it in. Okay, so you obviously know, you can actually differentiate which part is the human part and which part is the mechanical based on the silhouette. Okay, that's how you know when you have a good sculpture, a really convincing sculpture. Okay, so silhouette is extremely important. Alright, so please keep that in mind. And again, your anatomy and proportions will actually help you with the silhouette. This is why anatomy is important. So yeah, that's that for sculpture development. Just know your proportions. Start small, start really basic with your sculpture, and work your way to the details. All the details are obviously done later. That's the fun stuff. And of course, a good sculpture has a good silhouette. Please keep that in mind, guys. Please keep that in mind. Silhouette, okay? So the fifth thing I want to talk about is practice. Now, this is just as important as the other things I'm talking about. If you guys practice every day, you will obviously slowly start to sharpen your skill set. Okay, now I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I don't always sculpt every day. But what I do every day is that I sit in this room, the same room that you guys are looking at right now, and I think creatively. I write notes down on the things that I need to buy for my art. I write notes down for the next ideas that I want to bring to life. I look for images on Google on the future character designs that I want to do. Okay, I look at my sculptures to see what I need to finish. All right, I'll look at my anatomy charts to see the human proportions and body as my daily dosage for reference. Okay, to make things more realistic. I also, just go on random sites to get inspired. I look at my magazines, my 3D magazines that I accumulated over the years on my iPad. All right. In other words, when you guys aren't really doing anything physical, as writing down or drawing or sculpting, it's important to think creatively every day. To me, that's still practice, because when you think creatively every day, you're actually flexing your muscles as an artist. Okay. If you guys read every day, that's actually just as good as sculpting every day, because you're still training your mind to think, to visualize, okay? So practice every day, and remember, practice doesn't have to mean sculpting every day, okay? Don't let people fool you, all right? When you guys don't sculpt every day, it's all good, as long as you think creatively every day, as long as you open your mind more every day, okay? As long as you keep getting motivated and inspired every day. You're on your way to go to being a successful artist if you do that. All right. Now, of course, you would obviously need to sculpt at least once a week or something to really sharpen your skill set. But above all, if you guys can just think creatively every day, open your mind more, be inspired more by other types of art, videos, anything. If you guys just get inspired every day, you're literally practicing as well. Okay. So that's all I have to say for that. Now, aside from practicing, let's get back into sculpting. You kind of have to be a perfectionist, okay? When you're done with a sculpture, when you're done with a video, when you're done with a drawing, a good artist never ever gets satisfied with whatever finished masterpiece they do. They always look at it and say, how can I make it better? How can I make this better? How can I make it look good again? This is why I've been doing the freak shows since 2007. Okay? If you guys want to know more information about the freak shows, you can do that in my website. Okay? If you just go to the freak shows section in my website, it's all there. Now, the freak shows are actually quite interesting because it actually demonstrates what I've been trying to tell you guys these past seconds. If you become a perfectionist, you're never satisfied. Alright? This was done in 2007. This was done the same year. 2008, 2009, 2011. Like, it's all like yearly. Okay? Until I reached the last one, Freak Show 7. If you compare this to the first one, notice how far I've gotten. If you develop becoming a perfectionist, your work will actually become better and you will actually see yourself evolve. There's actually not a lot of artists out there that actually have this particular trait. I've seen way too many artists who work on different types of art, and I've known them for quite a long time now. They're still stuck on the same skill set the first day I met them. Alright, you know, there's not a lot of artists out there that actually take the skills that they know they have and evolve from it. Okay, I think the number one step when you guys want to get better is to know where you're actually at the moment. You have to be aware of the skill set you currently have, and then you were pretty much going to take apart what you just created and make it perfect, you know, the next week or the next month. It's all in the matter of thinking that you want it to look perfect, and you will actually do it over and over and over again until you make it something look good. Okay, so being a perfectionist will actually affect how you are as an artist. It will affect your work ethics, which is obviously always good. Okay, because you're not always going to translate this into art. You're also going to translate this on how you work out there in the real world. Alright, so guys, be a perfectionist. Learn how to become a perfectionist. Learn how to not always be satisfied with the work that you produce. Alright, again, when you're done with the work, don't sit there and say, okay, it's good and it's done. Alright, I don't think a work is ever done as an artist. You just have to learn when to stop. Learn to deconstruct what you just created and think of ways on how you can make it better next time. Alright, that's how you become a perfectionist, and that will actually help you in the long run as an artist. And one thing I want to add to this step is don't be afraid of hard work, guys. Alright, hard work is what separates an ordinary artist from the actual talented artists. Okay, so you guys will actually notice that the greatest artists out there are one of the ones who actually work harder than the person right beside them. Alright, so just don't be afraid to go the extra mile to whatever it is you're doing as an artist, because that extra mile will actually determine whether if you are actually dedicated on your work or if you're not. Okay, like I said in the beginning, this will actually determine if you're a lazy person or if you're not. If you're trying to get somewhere in life, it will actually show you. Your work will actually show that to you. Your work, people will actually see that in your work if you're really serious on what you're trying to do as an artist. Alright, so don't be afraid of hard work. Always go the extra mile, and this will actually be part of practicing. Okay, practicing sometimes is going the extra mile, doing the extra work on whatever it is you're doing. You know, these videos that I'm doing on YouTube, I really don't have to do them. Doing a video for each and every new mask that I create, I really don't have to do that. I really don't have to do that. The reason why I'm doing that is so I can separate myself from the ordinary mask maker, so I can make my masks look good in terms of presentation, as well as their symbolism and their story. Each mask that I do is one of a kind, so the video as well as the presentation for each and every mask that I do will be very special too. It will also be one of a kind. So you see this, you see the extra mile that I'm trying to take. So hopefully you guys see what I'm trying to say. Okay, go the extra mile. It will actually affect your persona as an artist, as well as the masterpieces that you do. Alright, so always work hard, always practice, and remember, think creatively and free your mind every day, even if it means having to trap yourself into a small room with a lot of images. Sometimes that's what it takes to be a great artist, is to be a prisoner in your own mind. Number 6 on this video, we're going to talk about inspiration and motivation. Now, we're getting to the part where we're not really talking about sculpting anymore. We're talking about how you think as an artist. As you all know, like I mentioned somewhere in this video early on, creativity is a muscle. Alright, it will only be stronger if you keep working at it. If you guys are always in your room sacrificing your social life, alright, if you guys are always in your room trying to better yourself as an artist, with each new drawing, with each new sculpture, with each new video, if you guys are a filmmaker, you know, if you guys are a digital artist like me as well, you know, finding out a new way to create your new character, you know, it's things like these that will actually make you a better artist. You know why? Because you're consistent with it. You're consistent with creativity. All right, if you're consistent with creativity, it will actually shape with you over time. When you guys are a trained artist, you will actually end up training your mind to think creatively for you. This is why I have a lot of notes, because there are days in which my mind just floods me with new ideas, new descriptions, new symbolism, new stories to share with my masks and you guys, of course. Alright, these are all precious ideas. Okay, learn how to keep notes, learn how to keep track of everything that you do. This is important for any artist, guys. Keep track of everything that you do. Okay, when you keep track of that, you will actually maintain that creativity with you, because guess what, whatever it is you wrote on that paper, you can always refer back to it. To some extent, you're not really wasting your creativity. Creativity is a muscle. Learn to flex your muscles every day. Okay, read books every day. All right, books, writing is an art form as well. What's cool about books is that when you guys are reading, you're actually visualizing. All right, what do artists do most of the time? They think a lot. They think themselves to death, and books are like their number one drug. In order to keep yourself creative, you have to surround yourself with things that make you creative. This is obviously a great example. My room, look how everything is surrounded with like art, and art. Here are the current masks that I've done that I'm personally keeping for myself. There's my TV if I want to watch movies and games. Here's the sculptures I need to work on. Here's more things I need to work on. References everywhere, materials right there. I'm flooded with art every single day of this life. Even if I'm not doing anything art related, I'm still thinking about art every day. Okay, this keeps me inspired. This keeps me creative on whatever it is I want to do. When you surround yourself with things that make you creative, such as visual notes, references, playing games, even watching a movie, listening to music, watching your favorite artist, do work, whatever it is that stimulates your mind creatively. If you guys do this every day, you will always be inspired every day. Okay, this is actually one of the beautiful parts about living life, especially for me. As a hardcore artist, when I wake up from my bed, all right, the first thing I actually think of is, what can I do today? What can I produce today as an artist? What can I work on today? What can I think of today that will benefit me tomorrow? I'm always here searching for new ideas and how to make them better. Keep yourself creative, guys. All right, keep yourself inspired. These are just simple things. Writing notes down, watching your favorite movie, sculpting in your own pastime to keep things out of your head. These are actually just simple. Anyone can do this. Listening to your favorite music on the radio. You're always, you need to stimulate your mind every day. Okay, this will keep yourself creative, and this will obviously keep you motivated and inspired. I guarantee you guys. All right, now the next thing I want to talk about is originality. Instead of imitating things that already exist, try to break down what you like about them and use them to your advantage. Now, the reason why this is important is because originality is actually a test of your creativity. I've seen way too many artists that imitate other artists, and they don't, it's just ridiculous, because the world needs more original people, not copies. So I always try my best to make things that no one has seen before. See, originality is important because it builds your image as an artist. All right, if you're always out there imitating things that already exist, you're not really maintaining your name. You're not really building your name and your image. All right, don't you want to be known for something that no one has seen yet? No one has heard of yet? Don't you want to create your own style as an artist? What's that? You do? Well, if you want to do all those things I just listed, it starts at being creative on your own. It starts with originality. All right, start doing things that you would like, that you've never seen before. Don't imitate other people's work. Don't bring things to life that everyone has already seen. All right, I mean, yes, you'll get more fans for doing that, but who are you actually fooling? Are you actually flexing that creative muscle when you're imitating someone else? Okay, when you're imitating something that the world has already seen. You're not really building an image for yourself. So if you guys want to build a name for yourself, like I want to do right now, you have to learn to develop your own style as an artist. And how do you do that? Thinking on your own, independently. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad to look at other people's work, as long as you don't do that as a habit. All right, because when you tend to look at other people's work, you tend to absorb whatever idea they're doing, and it actually applies to the work you're doing. Okay, so learn how to trap yourself into a bubble so that you're always dependent on your own ideas. All right, that's just how I do it for me personally. Okay, I cage myself into my room so I am always dependent on my thoughts. And also, if you guys want to stay inspired and motivated, you have to stay away from distractions. Now, again, I'm not actually accusing anyone of doing this. It's just this video is pretty much me and my personal views as an artist, okay? No one has to do any of these things I say. I'm just showing you guys what I know. I'm just showing you guys the things that have gotten me to this level in my life, all right, as well as a person. So what I'm trying to say is stay away from distractions, okay? Distractions can mean anything to anyone, all right? As you all know, I don't smoke or drink. The thing is, the people who do that, the time in which you're doing those things, partying, always chilling out with friends, you know, doing all these things that you know you don't have to do when you can spend your time at home doing your art, that you're wasting your time, okay? Be honest with yourself. If you want to go far in life, you have to spend time with yourself and your work. There is no easy way to saying it, believe me, okay? You have to learn to separate yourself from the world so you can work alone. That's always how it's been for successful people. Do you think successful people chill a lot? Well, of course they chill. You know, it's just a form of rewarding yourself. But if you chill with your friends every day in your life, don't expect to get somewhere, okay? I'll be honest with you, don't expect to get anywhere. Learn how to be independent in your own time, in your own mind as well, mentally. Because that's the only place that's the only way to actually get further ahead from the crowd of people. You have to learn to think independently. Get rid of distractions, guys. Get rid of distractions, because when you guys are actually doing those distractions, again, you guys can also be doing your work. You're wasting your time in this world doing you guys are wasting time in this world with things that you know is not going to get you anywhere. All right, so please get rid of distractions. I'm a loner. I'm also an introvert, even though I may not sound like it. And usually those two assets of my personality affect how I am as an artist. Okay? It really does. And it's affected how I think. I use those two assets to my advantage to build my own world, my own creatures, my own characters, my own videos, my own stories. Being a loner is what made me this way as an artist. Being an introvert made me like this as an artist. Okay? When you guys are, you know, those two things, a loner or an introvert, you tend to stay away from social life. You tend to make your own social life in your own head, in your own comfort room. You know, in this case, it's my workshop. There's only 24 hours in a day. If you sleep for 8 hours, you only have, 16 hours. If you chill for a couple, you know, if you guys do the math correctly, there's not that much time left in the day if you want to become successful. You have to learn to separate yourself from the crowd. You have to learn to work harder than anyone else that you know. That's the only way of becoming, that's the only way of building your name. Okay, that's the only way to be successful, is to work hard. That's the only methodology of success, is to work hard. So to add on to that, do not break your focus. You know, the best artists out there are the ones that are actually are constantly thinking about art. Okay, you have to, I think I've said this way too many times already, you have to think creatively every day. Do not break your focus. Do not get distracted. Every day, guys, learn to think independently every day. Learn to open your mind to possibilities every day. Okay, believe me, the stuff I learned of art, you know, all this time in my life, all these past years of hard work, they've actually made me more open as a person mentally. Okay, with art, you can make anything that you want, how you want it, how you present it to the world, with that much openness, with that much freedom. You know what that's actually doing to your head? It makes you become stronger. Okay, it makes you not get binded by any chains that this world gives to you as a person. All right, if you learn to think creatively every day, if you learn to free your mind for the sake of art, okay, if you learn to free your mind, you will not only become a successful artist, but you will also become a happier person if you do. So we're now in section 7 of this video. I want to talk about passion. So if you see art as a chore, you're not going to make it as an artist. Okay? I've talked to many artists in which they keep telling me they can't sculpt, they can't paint, they can't themselves to death. You're not gonna become the artist that you want to be if you keep downing yourself like that. Okay? If you see art as a chore, you're seriously not gonna make it. As you all know, the symbolism that I put with each and every mask that I do, the stories that I embed with my videos, my short films, the symbolism, the metaphors, all that comes natural to me. I'm not intentionally putting it there to make it sound more complicated, to make it sound more intelligent. No, that's actually part of the masterpiece itself. It comes natural to me. It is not a chore to me. That's why I can easily produce metaphors within my work just like that. So for those of you who are actually been a fan of my work, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about symbolism and metaphors. A lot of my videos have them. My short films, my mask videos, the actual masks themselves, all these have symbolism and stories. These are things that come natural to me as an artist. Some people see it as a chore. Well, I obviously don't. Okay? So in other words, love art for what it is. If you guys think art is something hard to do for you, then you're doing something wrong, okay? Learn to be passionate about it. An artist who has fun with art compared to an artist who just sees art for something to do, something to waste their time with, who do you think has more superior over their craft? Obviously the artist who has more fun, right? Because to them, all this is just fun. It's not work. It's not work. It's playtime, guys. So the artist who is always having fun about their work, the artist who's always passionate about their work, they're usually the ones that get a lot of things done. They're usually ones that stand out from the crowd of sheep. Why? Oh, it's quite simple. They're just having fun. That's the key word for this section, guys. It's just having fun. Be passionate about what you do. If you guys are feeling stressed out on something, like sculpting or painting, then you're doing it wrong. Because art should be fluid. It should flow like water. It should feel natural to do. It should feel something very natural to do. So please be patient with your work. Be passionate. Don't say you can't do anything, because you actually can. This is art we're talking about. You are free to think, to creatively do anything. Art is something open. So why are you stressing out about it? Okay? Be passionate. Have fun. Alright guys, so just to end this video off, let's go over the last section of this video, which is your drive, your motivation. Alright, so number 8 in this video is your drive. Okay, I'm not talking about drive as in car. No. I'm talking about drive as in your adrenaline. Okay, your purpose. Why are you doing art? Because this is actually one of the most open-ended topics as an artist. Okay, why are you sculpting? Why are you drawing? Why are you making videos for people? What's your purpose? Alright, so that's pretty much what I'm gonna go over just to finish this video off. So here's the thing, guys. If you know your drive, if you know your purpose, you are more capable than anyone else, believe it or not. Why? Because you know your purpose for doing art. You know why you're doing it. Okay, the reason why I'm showing these things to you guys is because these are things that I live by every day. This kind of thinking is what got me here to this day. My drive to create is that hopefully I inspire someone in this world. A kid, an adult, anyone. Okay? My drive to create is that hopefully a kid will find hope through art. As you all know, I don't want to get too personal with this video, but I've been bullied before. I know what it's like to feel hurt by someone else. I know what it's like to feel alone. And guess what my best medicine was for fighting back all that negative energy? Art. What you guys are seeing in my room right now, what you guys have been seeing in my videos all this time, these past years, it's all in art. That's my drive. It's hopefully that I inspire someone through art. It really feels good to inspire people. It feels good for me to be talking to you guys in this video at this very moment. Okay? This is what I love to do. Is to share my experience with you guys, and hopefully you guys can take it with you in some form or another. Okay? My drive to create is that hopefully people will start telling each other stories through art. As you all know, anything that I've uploaded to my Facebook fan page, any masks that I've done so far, even videos and my short films, all of these have some sort of story and symbolism to tell. The purpose for the symbolism in my art is for me to open up to you guys indirectly through art. Each mask that I've done says something about me inside as a person. Okay? You guys can actually read the symbolism for each mask I've done in my, in the videos here on my YouTube. Alright? You can read more about the masks, the lore of each mask in my website. Okay? That's actually one of the main purposes of my website. If you guys want to know more about my art, it's all in there in my website. Alright? So that's my drive, guys. I have more drives, but I don't want to add on to that because it's just going to complicate it even more. But that's my drive. My drive is to inspire you guys and also to surprise me as an artist. At the end of the day, when I look at that mask right there, when I look at these masks, at the end of the day, sometimes I say, wow, did I just create that? Because hell yeah, I enjoy doing that. Let me do another one again. That's the beauty of art, is to get addicted by it. The beauty of art is to get addicted by it so that you would never have to pick up a cigarette ever again. The beauty of art is to get addicted to creating so that you may never have to drink again. Why would you drink to forget certain feelings when you can use those feelings as a form of aggression when you guys are doing art? Why are you going to suppress your negative emotions through smoking and drinking when you can pour it all through art? Okay? Don't waste your time with distractions like that, guys. Art is the best medicine ever. You can tell stories through art. Okay? This is why there's a lot of stories going on in my videos, the short films I do. They all say something if you guys just have the patience to listen to them, to read about them somewhere. Okay? That is my drive in art, is to inspire you guys, to inspire myself, to inspire the world. This is why I'm doing this for you guys. Alright? Because I know one person out there will find these videos, these masks, these characters that I do on ZBrush and Maya. I know someone out there will find it helpful, will find it inspiring just to see me create things. Okay? That's my drive. When I'm done with the sculpture, I always think, will someone out there look at this and say, wow, I want to do something like that? When I'm making a sculpture, there's a voice in the back of my head that says, will this impress people? That's my drive. I always think about you guys when I'm creating things. I always do that because I want this to look extra magnificent for the next person who sees it online somewhere. Okay? This is my drive for becoming better. I want to inspire you guys. So that's actually part of why I like to do art. Is because once I'm done with the masterpiece, I always think, man, hopefully someone gets inspired by this. This goes for every single thing I've done. That's my drive. So I want to flip the question back to you guys now. What makes you do art? Just to pass the day by? Like something to occupy you with? Or does it mean something a bit more? I'm not talking about just sculpting anymore, guys. I'm talking about a higher level of thinking. If you guys are an artist who wants to develop a name, you have to have an ideology. If you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. No one's going to know you. How are people going to remember you if you don't have an ideology to share? One of my ideologies is actually originality. Thinking independently. Okay? Thinking like there's no box to begin with. You know that saying, think outside the box? There's no such thing as the box. You guys are doing that to yourself, trapping yourself in a box. There is no box. Think big, okay? Always think big as an artist. Even as a person, think big. Don't think small. Don't think trapped. Learn to fly. This is why I have rings on my fingers that have angel wings. Okay? To remind myself, I have this freedom. I am gifted with this freedom to live, to create. I had the freedom to express what I need to say with each and everything I do as an artist. That's why I have these rings. Okay? This is why I want to inspire you guys in hopes to, elevate yourself. Because any successful artist out there, the big artist, any artist, okay, they all have a certain mind state. And I bet you that mind state is a lot better than the mind state of an ordinary person. The mind state of an ordinary person is that they always think they're always trapped in a box. They always let certain things bind them in this earth that we live in, okay? The great artist has no chains that bind them. They think freely for themselves. That's why they make themselves good artists. That's why they're good artists in the first place. Because they can think in a way that no one else can. That's what makes some artists special than the other. Alright? That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. We've gone through everything, but the last part is probably the most important in this video, okay? Why are you doing art? Tell me, why are you doing art? Is it to vent certain emotions? Is it just to waste your time? Always think that, okay? Why are you making art? Ask yourself that at the end of the day, every night. Why are you making art? Because I know why I'm making art. If you guys ask me, I want to inspire the world. One day I will look back in this video and see how far I've come. Okay? Know your reason. Know your purpose. Why are you drawing on a sketch pad? Because you're bored? Or are you just trying to sharpen your skills? Why are you sculpting? No one's telling you how to sculpt. No one's telling you to sculpt this. Okay? No one's telling you to do anything. So why are you creating art? I think that's the question that I would like to end this video for you guys. Alright? So for those of you who have watched this video from beginning to end, I thank you guys for the patience. As you all know, I like to talk in my videos a lot. I like expressing myself through this video camera that I'm holding right now. I like sharing my ideas with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and a comment if you do. If I inspired just one person in this video, then I'm happy. Really, I'm happy. So hopefully you guys learned something about being an artist, as well as sculpting in this video, of course. And of course, as always, if you guys want to see whatever it is I'm doing at the moment, you can always follow me on Twitter. That'll be twitter.com/evilsaw13. I tweet almost every day, anytime I'm doing art, so you guys know exactly what I'm working on at the moment. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube if you guys are new. Please share my videos to the people that you know. Please help get my name out. Please support me. I would highly appreciate that. Okay, so also please like my fan page. That'll be www.facebook.com/Juan Caparas. Please like my fan page. Please share it. I would highly appreciate that. And also, as always, my website is always in the description. Everything is in the description of the video, as always. Okay. So thank you for watching this, guys. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something, at least something new, all right, through this thought process of art. And I have many more tutorials planned, but as you all know, these videos take time to do, because what sucks more about watching a tutorial video is not having some sort of demonstration of that video. Okay, at least I gathered 3 sculptures for you guys, at least I gathered 3 sculptures so you guys can watch this whole entire time. Imagine if there were no sculptures to begin with. That would suck, right? So this is why tutorial videos take me a lot of time to do, because I need to have a mask in the works for me to demonstrate whatever it is I'm gonna show you guys in that tutorial video. So I actually have 3 more tutorial videos planned. So I'm just asking for you guys' patience on my work and videos and anything else that I produce, pretty much. Alright, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. Again, please show your support. Check out those links in the description as always, and leave a like and comment. Alright, and that'll be it, guys. Thank you for watching this. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see you guys on the next video.